Hey guys, what's up? It's John Grande, 5 minutes later and 5 minutes better, Daddy. The Pajama Pants play the best in the world, here with you. And, you know, before I finished all this, usually let me move this fucking thing out of the way, before I finished the videos of the day, I figured I had to review number 11 on my top 20 all-time favorite horror movie list. And look no further, ladies and gentlemen, than a movie that a lot of people will probably be pissed is not in the top 10. It is the bubble boy of the top 10. It is number 11. It is Dario Argento's Suspiria. Yes. I don't know how much of that you can see, but it's basically just the Suspiria poster art on a sweat jacket. I love it. It's from punkstuff.com. I got it fairly cheap. I got it for like $20, so it's warm as all hell. So it's the best of both worlds, I guess. But yeah, Dario Argento's Suspiria. One of the absolute all-time great horror movies. I don't think anybody would deny that. And I also think that a lot of people would probably be like, why is it so low? Even though it's on your top 20, it's not in your top 10. How could it not make your top 10? And it was funny because when I was making this list, I was kind of, I was like, man, Suspiria maybe should be in the top 10. But to be honest, there are 10 films I love more. And a lot of people will probably be like, and when we get into the top 10, there are a few controversial ones, number 9, number 7, I believe, and number 5's controversial. So there are a few controversial ones in there that I don't know if everyone's going to agree with. I don't know if everyone's going to like, but it's my top 20 list, not yours. Please respect my opinion. I'd love to hear yours. That was awesome how that rhymed. So even though I said yours twice, but never mind. I'm here to talk about a little bit of Italian giallo cinema, a little bit of Dario Argento's Suspiria. And to everybody, why am I not holding it up? You also might be asking yourself. To be honest with you, I am waiting like a motherfucker for the fucking Blu-ray release of Suspiria. Why it's not on Blu-ray, I couldn't tell you, because when that Blu-ray comes out, it may be the greatest all-time Blu-ray ever, because this is one of the greatest art horror films, one of the darkest pictures ever painted in horror film history, and I'm talking about Suspiria, baby. So let's get into it. Yeah, so Dario Argento went to New York, and he wanted to film his movie Suspiria. Basically, Suspiria is about this girl who goes to this ballet school, and, weird shit's going on, to say the least, and you don't know what exactly it is, and, there's these crazy shots in the beginning of this woman getting murdered brutally, and you don't know what the fuck's going on. It really is a really ambiguous the whole movie's very ambiguous, and a lot of people can't get past that, people that don't like this movie. Granted, there are very few, but it's a very ambiguous movie. It's not one of those movies that's like, it makes sense, everything goes from A to B to C to D. This movie is A to B to Y to F to D to 7 to 8 to 9 to 47. It doesn't make any sense. It really doesn't. But, so people will probably ask themselves, well, why is it such a horror classic? You know why? Because it's beautifully shot. It's one of the most beautifully shot horror films of all time. It is an absolute art piece. It is suspenseful. It's atmospheric. It has everything a really good Italian horror film, not even just Italian horror film, but a horror film should have, especially nowadays, because we haven't seen that in a while. A good atmosphere for a horror film. It has a great score. It has Goblin doing the music and the theme of the movie. If you've never heard of the theme of Suspiria, look it up. It'll haunt you. It's very dreamsicle. It's very like a lullaby, like a haunted lullaby. And there's so many scenes in this movie I'd love to talk about, but I love the opening shot of this girl. She's walking out of the airport. She's the main lead. And she's walking out of the airport. And every time the, automatic doors open, you hear the score. Almost as though the score is outside of this airport. And, that you see the girl, and she's kind of like, I love the performance. Like, she didn't have to do anything. She just tilts her head this way and walks slowly, walks hesitantly outside to this rainy, dark, stormy night. And she's trying to pick up a cab, and it's weird because like 8 cabs pass her, and it's like, man, that's weird. Like you'd think the first cab would get her, and that's what makes it like a dream. It's like, that's weird. Why would all these cabs pass her? Like she's willing to pay them money. She's out in the rain. It's horrible. She has all this luggage. Why would the cab not stop and get her? It's it's New York supposedly. It's like. And it's just creepy. It's like, man, we've all had those dreams like that where, maybe it's not a cab picking us up, but maybe it's a bus we can't catch or a car we can't make or somewhere we can't go. And I think that he captures that better than any director ever has and ever will. I don't think anybody could make this movie better than he did, and I think there's only one time, one place. It was a really big product of its time. If he had waited 5 years after, wouldn't have worked. Same thing with Texas Chainsaw Massacre. If Tobe Hooper had shot that film before, after, wouldn't work. Look at the second one. It's a good film, it's a fun film. It's not the first one. It's just not. It just doesn't capture that awe, that amazingness, that atmosphere. And I don't think any horror movie, besides maybe one more on this list, has a better atmosphere than Suspiria. And I really do mean that. It's amazing. It's so inspiring, man. Like, I feel like any young filmmaker should see Suspiria. It's actually in some film history books. Like, I took a Scale Media class last year, and there was like a whole chapter on Suspiria. So, you know, if you want to watch a horror movie for some filmmaking, look no further. I mean, it's awesome. I mean, there are some scenes late at night in this ballerina hall that there are these really bright reds, bright greens, bright blues, that when these girls are walking down the hallway next to this haunted, creepy dreamsicle score, you know, they're walking around, and you almost know that they're leading to their death. And, you know, more to the plot of this one, it's basically like, one by one, these ballerina girls, they're going to school, are getting picked off. And you don't know who's doing it, you don't know what the fuck's going on. You have a feeling that the people that are running the place are bad, but you don't know. Maybe you're second-guessing yourself. You know, Joan Bennett actually is the lead one, and, you know, the main girl has all these theories about what would happen, what's going to happen, and, you know, it's really, really, really good. Now, you know, things about this movie that most people don't comment on, all of the dialogue was written basically for younger kids. The movie was originally to star younger kids like 6 to 10 years old, but, you know, I think the producer suggested that they do like 20-year-old women, so they'd be more relatable to, I guess, the teenage audience. I don't know what the exact reason was for it, but it's cool because they didn't change the script, so a lot of the talking in the movie is almost like 6 to 10-year-old dialogue. It's like, you know, that's stupid, or, you know, it's a lot smaller words. It's much more, you know, so that forced the actors and actresses to really put on better physical appearance. You know, there's these awful scenes of girl, like, combing her hair, and there's maggots, real maggots in her hair, and the actress said that they actually used real maggots and shit, so she said it wasn't the funnest thing to film. And, you know, I just really like the hauntedness of this. Like, it's just such a haunting movie. It's fucking, man, it gives me chills every time I see it. I remember the first time I saw it, I couldn't have been more than 10 years old, and I was just fucking out. Like, I was like, this is fucking terrifying, man. Like, to this day, freaks me out watching it. Like, I can't watch the movie and not have, like, chills, not get scared. It's just a scary movie. And honestly, it doesn't tell a great story. It really doesn't. And I know I think that's probably what bumps it out of the top 10 for me, personally, because I like horror films that tell a good story. I like wrestling that tells a good story. Everything I like has to tell that good story. Has to, you know, like, I love Friday the 13th Part 2, obviously. It's he tells the story on the campfire. You know, this is this, and this is the legend of this character, and we're going to set up this background. And I really, really love that in a horror film more than anything else. Like, more than gore, more than score, more than acting, you know, idea. Just tell me a good story, and I'm just a sucker for it. Now, you know, other things in this movie that people don't like, I guess, would be, they say somebody acting is weak. I don't think so, personally. I think the lead girl was fine. I think everybody else was fine. It's just not a movie like that. It's a movie that you watch kind of just for the film, the cinematography, the lighting, just all this stuff, just working in that perfect cohesive unit of ambiguity, but we're going to say a lot too with that. And I think that Dario Argento just hits it out of the park, man. I think Dario Argento is one of the great horror filmmakers of all time, and is well deserving of being on this top 20 horror film list, even at number 11. Dario, I love you. You're the man. So, yeah, that's all for Suspiria. I'll put down the fake DVD that I don't own, or that doesn't exist in my possession. But eventually, when that Blu-ray comes out, ladies and gentlemen, I will be buying that. Pre-order first day. It will be in my house Tuesday, whatever Tuesday that might be. So, yeah, that's all for now. That's number 11 on my all-time favorite horror film list. Hope you enjoyed. I'm not going to upload this one right away, honestly, because it's just, I think it's overkill to upload 2 in a day. So maybe I'll wait a couple days. Maybe I won't. But that's all I know for now. So the only thing that is for sure is nothing for sure. But the next video will be starting my top 10. It'll be number 10 on the all-time 20. And I hope you're all looking forward to that. I know I am. So that's going to be all for now. I am John Grande, the Pajama Pants Player, the best in the world. You've been chilling, guys. Peace.